one of the questions I have is about stock selection. Like, how important is, stock selection for traders, especially in a market like this? And for that stock selection, like, where does their existing playbook or, their existing system play into the importance of that stock selection?
Yep. And so one thing I'll kind of intertwine and bridge that with is, so there's people out there that had their strategies the last couple of years, long momentum, whatever else. And so in this market, they're like, I'm not seeing any plays for me. I'm taking the time off. I was out in LA. I met with this young trader. He's like, oh yeah, my mentor and I, like, we're kind of just taking it slow. Our playbook isn't working so much. And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, maybe if you're an experienced trader and well off, you can afford to take it slow. But I'm like, what are you going to do if this is, are you counting on a 2 month hiatus? Or what if this is like a 2 year different market? What if the trades you're good at never come back? Are you just going to be like the skeleton in your desk, like
Right.
30 years from now? And so what a lot of people like, look, some people, they deserve and have earned the right to sit on their laurels and not adapt. But it's like, if you're trying to be the best and really crush it, like you got to be figuring out this new market. And so like stock selection on that regard, like so many people have these identities, like, and that's almost like the number one failure of like retail traders. Like some of the retail, and I had zero exposure to this stuff, but now that I see it, I'm like, you guys are nuts. Like for whatever reason, like a disproportionately high percent of retail traders are just obsessed with these low float stocks. And it's like, oh, like, these low float stocks, they get pumped and go higher, but then they tend to mean revert, which is like, okay, I'm not disagreeing, but it's like, does nobody find it odd that like every retail trader on earth, that's like the only like, arrow in the quiver? It's like, guys, like there's a whole universe out there. Like low float trading was probably like 5% of my playbook, maybe like less. And like, I hate to tell this to people, but like there's years where like the low float stuff, like the small, cheap stocks, like those don't move at all some years. Like it's been a crazy couple of years for some of that stuff. There's years where it's like you get a couple runners, maybe a whole year. And so like people will identify themselves, oh, I'm a large cap trader, I'm a low flow trader, I'm a futures trader. And it's like, why have this identity, this false identity, this limiting belief? You're just a trader. Like if you show me an opportunity in trading, Zimbabwean snake breeding rights, it's like, I'll be like, that's an interesting chart. How do I trade it? Like it doesn't matter whether it's like crypto or whatever, like the same psychology and patterns apply. And people end up, I have this concept called the broken slot machine, where it's like, imagine saying I'm a blackjack player and you go into the casino and the odds are 49.51 right now, and you just sit at that table all day and you see someone at the slot machine and it's just spitting out money, right? Six, 7 out of 10 hands spitting out these huge payouts. And you don't get up and you don't go over there. You say, why would I go over there? I'm a blackjack player. And you're like, what? Like, what do you mean you're just a gambler? Go gamble where you're going to win. Like, why are you just sitting at this table? No, you don't understand. Like this is what I do. I play blackjack and blackjack's not hitting, so I'm just taking the summer off. But it's like, dude, don't you see that slot machine? It's like, it's just shitting money out of the front of it. Like, don't you want to go over there? It's like, that's not what I do. It's like, what? Like, you're crazy, man. And it's like, you got to move to where the puck is. And like, that's what I was so good at. It's like, I wasn't a news, like I'm now known as like a capitulation trader. Thank you, Aaron, of Chat with Traders. No, I do love Aaron. I won't fault him for that. And, but it's
Great.
like, yeah, he's the best. I love him. Ironically, I met him in Australia just as friends beforehand. I didn't even know Chat with Traders, just through pure coincidence. Uh, but it's like, I don't, like capitulations is maybe one of the things I'm best at, but like, man, like breaking news, IPOs, I was insanely good at doing M&A news. It was just something I had this huge database. So boom, second that headline goes out, I know better than any other fast market participant where that thing should be priced, pretty much within a very high confidence range. And like, I would do low floats, I would do breakdowns, I would short stuff, I would do momentum, I would scalp. And what happens is having that diverse quiver that allows you to get through all these markets, right? So like, we would have at Trillium, there would be people that were news guys and exceptional news guys. But look, there's times when news isn't in play. So guess what? 2020, 21 comes along. I smoked all those guys just because like their style wasn't as in play. There were years where there's massive M&A every single week, and they're the best. I mean, some of those news guys are like incredible traders, way better than I was. I had my niches within it, and I was good, but not like some of them were insane. And so in those markets, those guys would smoke me because they're the 10 out of 10, and I'm an 8 out of 10 at that, and they would just smoke me. But the beauty though is in every market I had my quivers, and so if we get into this bear market, like I'm still doing, I've got all my quivers, I got all my arrows there. And so what people need to do is they need to recognize that like, you're not just building this. If like, and I was even tweeting about this yesterday, like you need to focus on like the 10-year game, the 20-year game. Where do you want to be as a trader in 10 years? Because guess what? If your only play is like low float or like long momentum, man, that might only be in play in a big way, maybe 2 or 3 out of the next 10 years. So like, how do you build up a business of strategies so that you can thrive in all of those environments? And it's like, that's how you really become, I think, elite at this craft. And there are some people that are just so good at their niche, where it's like, I get it. Like some people are just so exceptional that they will just make a lifetime's living anytime that thing's in play, and they've just honed that craft. Like there's definitely credit to that. But if your thing's not in play right now and you're not, you need to be finding those other ways. You need to be finding those broken slot machines. You need to find ways, futures trading has been super in play. Crypto trading has been super in play. There's times when the market is super in play. There's times when AMC and GME are in play. And it's like, if you're a low float trader or you're a futures trader and you're not trading AMC, GME some of those days in the last couple of years, man, like you could have probably made hundreds of thousands of bucks. It could take you years to replicate that in a dead futures market. It's so important.
Yeah. That's extremely helpful to think about the broken slot machine and to just think of ourselves simply as traders, because we didn't necessarily get into this specifically with one particular identity in mind, and yet over time maybe we heard from someone else and that's their strategy, so then we sort of adopt it. I think it makes more sense what you're explaining, which is to just think of ourselves as nimble traders, and if you can find a broken slot machine, by all means,
yeah. And
trade
it's
it.
just it's that concept applies to investing, anything, where it's like if you can find a positive expected value opportunity, like let's say, it's just, it could be in crypto, it could be in day-to-day life. It's like, I'm just trying to make positive expected value bets, right? That's all it is. And trading stocks is one computer game, but there's a lot of games out there.